Hey Inav, welcome to the elite community and congrats on posting your first PAs. So here's some feedback from my side. I'll begin by going through the story the way I see it on your big boy time frame, which is the 10-minute. Okay, so we see sellers coming down, then they start to hold and roll over here. Last guy who started was probably here, after which he never really went lower. And then when this move pops up, he kind of takes out this guy who started it, and the buyer is in control. So yes, we want to be looking for buys on this pair. And then you also, on the smaller picture of your big boy, it was good to notice that we were only making slightly higher highs and slightly, the pullback was coming in deep almost to the guy who started it. So we were more in a channel state than a trending state immediately. So yeah, with that in mind, coming to near London Open, we near the bottom of that channel. So that goes with our intention of taking a buy. If we look at it on the trading time frame, okay, we can see the buyer coming up here, and then there's a strong seller that smashes down, and he enters this area and starts to hold. So this would be a nice area to trampoline off of, and it's in confluence with the bottom of the channel. So location wise, it's a good location to take a buy. So I've just tried to plot out where I saw or I interpreted you placed your position based on the video, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. The logic was good. The only thing that I would change, the timing was slightly off, because this seller was really strong coming down, right? So any move in the upward direction won't be a buyer coming in, but it would be people who missed the sell. They would want a discount to try and sell again. So we should let price come up a bit and see that the sellers are attempting to sell again. And when we see that they are struggling to make it, that would be a better place to enter our buys. So I would let the price come up again to give a discount to these sellers, let them try, and we can see that they are struggling to go lower. 1, 2, 3, like compared to this move, this is very slow, and we're starting to get some rejections at the bottom here. So a better entry would be somewhere down here. It's also closer to the bottom of the channel, and we can even keep our stops below this level to keep us safe. And for our ultimate target, we would probably want to target somewhere near the top of the channel, but you are very correct in assuming that this is a dangerous, like a landmine area, the recent high that we need to watch carefully. We might consider taking out some profit, or like depending on the momentum, getting up here. In this case, it was just a tiny hold and it smashed through. But yeah, that's how I would handle trade number one. Then as the buyer continues, we see that the seller pulls back again, but this time the buys fail and he smashes down, taking out this area that propelled the buys. So we would be bringing in like our set 2, as you said. If we go back to the 10-minute, we can see in the bigger picture on the 10-minute, the buyer kind of went up like that, and now he's pulling back again. That's not clear. So he's pulling back again, also kind of channeling from the larger perspective as well. And now price is back in the bottom of the channel, that kind of region. Looks to be using this level over here in order for the buyers to try and load up again. But yeah, with this trade, let's go down and look at it on the trading time frame. So the set 2 is coming in. Seller is quite strong. He is trending down. But then he gets to here and he's trying to propel off this SNR, but he stops making lower lows. So now we're wondering, okay, so the seller seems to be losing his strength, but the buyer is not taking over yet either. And we seem to be forming some kind of a range within a seller's territory where this guy is the mini seller controlling this whole thing. So again, this entry up here would be a bit early because we're at the top of the range and we don't know whether the seller is going to smack it down again. The way we would handle this would be to wait for the range to break as it has done here, taking out this guy as well, and then when it retests to the top of the range, that would be a nice place to enter, with our stops below. And in this case, our ultimate take profit would be the recent high, but as you would notice yourself, this was a very important landmine as well, because if we look on the 10 minutes, these sellers came down pretty strong and price just held in this area. It doesn't look convincing. Like these sellers, we're not sure if they did get their discount yet. So we be expecting these sellers to get their discount and then hit it down again. And it comes up here where we're buying, giving the sellers a discount. But it's not clear whether they are trying and failing here. It's just like one candle. It happens so quickly. So I'd still be watching out for this area as a landmine. And when I see this coming in, that would be the seller trying to me. So I'd probably remove some profit in this area and watch what this try does. In this case, it was short-lived and the buyer was able to take it back to the recent high. So that's my take on these two trades. Then lastly, I just wanted to give you some advice. You were asking about the PA itself. So with PAs, we like to usually start by discussing the story of how we read the story on our big boy time frame and trading time frame, which you have done. And the entries and where you entered, where you exited, you did that as well. And then in addition to that, we also find it helpful to discuss any emotions that we may have been feeling during this trading process and whether we were influenced by any emotions, either positively or negatively. And then at the end, it's also good to mention what you think you did right, what you think you did wrong, and also where you can improve. Because by taking note of these things, it really improves the way, the learning process, allowing us to get the most out of every trade that we take. So that's a high level what you can look to include in future PAs. I'll include a link below to a video that explains how to make PAs in more detail. But overall, it was a very nice job on these trades. Keep it up, man. Cheers.